Okay, okay. Okay, okay. We in the building. I say we in the building. Check that sound. Okay, all right. That sound popping off. That sound popping off. We here. God damn it, I say we here. We in the building. Hold on, let me get the video together, goddamn. I say we here. We in the building. What they do? What they do? Your boy King David in this building. And we about to talk some boxing. We about to talk some boxing. What they do, everybody, to the highways and the byways. Your boys out here with a random live, you know what I'm saying? Post-fight review. Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams. Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams. I hope you got had a chance to see the fight. I hope you saw the fight. I hope that you did, because it was a hell of a goddamn fight. Let me see if we got anybody in the building today. Let me see if we got anybody in the building today. Salute to y'all, everybody in the building, man. Everybody commenting. Salute to y'all, everybody in the building, man. We got a hell of a fight. Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams. You know what I'm saying? Rough, rugged fight, man. If you haven't, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channels. Make sure you let everybody in the highways and the byways know we talk that shit. But we here to do a post-fight review / reaction to Liam Williams versus Demetrius Andrade, or Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams, however you want to put it, goddamn. But that's where we are. We're not gonna be on here long today. But I gotta talk a little bit of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because your boy did call this. Your boy did call this exactly as it went. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta make sure I publicly give myself a pat on the back, goddamn, because I was exactly 155% right about how this fight was gonna go. And it's not gonna be something as simple as, oh, a unanimous decision. No, exactly how I said this fight was gonna go is exactly how it was gonna go. Exactly the way I said Demetrius Andrade was going to outclass Liam Williams. It's exactly the way he outclassed Liam Williams. Exactly the way that I said that Liam Williams would give him one of the most toughest fights of his career. It's exactly the way Liam Williams gave him one of the most toughest fights of his career. Everything happened just exactly as your boy predicted. 155%. You know what I'm saying? But before we get fully into it, congratulations to Demetrius Andrade on another successful title defense. Okay, the man is now 30-0, and remains the WBO welterweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? 30-0. You know what I'm saying? Remains undefeated. The man with the plan. Okay. The man with the plan over at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start by congratulating Demetrius Andrade. And furthermore, let's add to that. And furthermore, let's give Demetrius Andrade props for fighting Liam Williams. Look, Demetrius Andrade didn't have to fight Liam Williams, okay? Liam Williams wasn't his mandatory. Liam Williams wasn't a guy that people were calling for people were calling for him to fight. Liam Williams wasn't on nobody's agenda as far as who Andrade should fight. Nobody would have talked shit about Andrade for not fighting Liam Williams. So let's give credit what credit is due. Give credit to Demetrius Andrade for fighting Liam Williams, because he didn't have to fight Liam Williams. Okay? He didn't have to fight Liam Williams. He could have decided to fight. He could have fought somebody like Avni Yildirim, like Canelo. He could have fought some nobody. Okay? He didn't have to fight. He didn't have no mandatory. The number one guy for Andrade's belt was Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia chose not to fight Demetrius Andrade. Okay? Jaime Munguia chose not to fight Andrade. So What did Andrade do? He didn't say, since Jaime Munguia don't want to fight me, I'm going to fight the number 40 guy in the division. He didn't say that. He said, give me the next guy after Jaime Munguia. And that next guy was Liam Williams. That next guy was Liam Williams. Okay? Which, if you ask me, Liam Williams, the type of fighter that Liam Williams is the most dangerous kind of fighter for someone like a Demetrius Andrade. Okay? That's the most dangerous kind of fighter for Andrade's style. So not only did he not take the easy way out, like a lot of your favorite fighters do, okay? But he chose to fight the most difficult opponent that he could possibly find. You know what I'm saying? The most difficult opponent that he could possibly find. That's what Andrade gravitated towards. Okay? So let's give that man props. Okay? Another round of props needs to be dished out, and that's props to Liam Williams. Liam Williams deserves props. And you know what? I said this because I watched some of Liam Williams' fights. I watched some of those fights before. I gave a prediction for this fight. I talked a little bit about this fight. I knew what Liam Williams was bringing to the table. Okay? But Liam Williams brought that and then some. You know what I'm saying? Liam Williams brought that and then some to the goddamn table. My guy Mango Juice 07 is in the building. Shout out to you, my guy. Mango Juice says, USA, USA, it's me again and still. Yes, sir. That's exactly what the fuck is happening on here today, man. Exactly how the fuck this is about to go down today. And still. WBO undefeated champion of the world, middleweight champion of the world, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. But back on point. Let's give Liam Williams some props, okay? Liam Williams was a tough, rugged opponent, okay? We knew he was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be rugged, but how tough and how rugged? Because everybody is tough and rugged until they're put in a situation where they're completely outclassed, and then they lose heart, and then they lay down. But just based on watching Liam Williams' fights, just based on that and looking at the amount of intensity that he goes into each fight with, I knew Liam Williams was going to be different. I knew Liam Williams wasn't going to lay down. You know what I'm saying? I knew Liam Williams was going to do everything that could be done in order to beat Demetrius Andrade, and that's what he showed tonight. Okay? He tried to win that fucking fight. Liam Williams landed some nice shots on Demetrius Andrade from time to time. Liam Williams made the fight raunchy and ugly and dirty at times. Liam Williams did a bunch of things that most fighters wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Liam Williams walked through a lot of shots that most fighters would never even dream to walk through. The amount of uppercuts, and now we're going to talk about this shit. The amount of uppercuts that Liam Williams got hit with. God damn. The amount of uppercuts that Liam Williams had to walk through in order to make it to 12. Okay? Completely and utterly ridiculous. Thomas Reed in the building says Demetrius Andrade versus Jermell Charlo. Who wins? We're going to talk about that, Thomas. We're going to talk about that. Anybody in the building, I need you to make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we talking that shit tonight, man. And a little bit later on, we're gonna open up a link. I'm going to drop the link and we're going to shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna chop it up, man. I'm hype. I'm hype off the fight, fresh off it. So I want to talk some boxing tonight, man. Fuck all that other shit. Charlo and Andrade, that's gonna be a good one. We're gonna talk about that shit. We're gonna talk about that one because I know a lot of people are going to discredit Andrade for this performance. They're gonna try to discredit him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is Andrade had a tough fight against Liam Williams. Imagine Charlo. Imagine this guy. Imagine that guy. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. Light lit it up in the building. What's going on with your light lit it up? Shout out to you, my guy. Williams took anything to win. Williams took the anything to win approach to fight and still lost. Facts. Like lit it up. Liam Williams was willing to do whatever it took to get that dub versus Demetrius Andrade, and it showed. And that's how you fight somebody like Andrade, because you're not going to outbox him. You're not going to outthink him. You know what I'm saying? So the only way to win is to put your chin down, okay, and throw punches like what Liam Williams was doing. That's why I knew this was going to be a tough-ass fight for Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. My guy Thomas Reed says, I subscribe. I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you, Thomas Reed. Yes, sir. We talk that boxing here. Every motherfucking Tuesday and Friday, we talking that boxing. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Like lit it up, lighting you laughing your ass off at Liam. Look, man, I'm not going to laugh at Liam. I respect Liam. I respect Liam, man. I respect Liam. Liam Williams had to walk through. He had to walk through so many punches, okay, in order to get to that 12th round, okay? But when Liam Williams was hurt, man, when he was hurt, he would just clench so fucking tight. Like, you would see the veins in his arms just pop out, how hard he would clench Andrade as he was fucking, when he would get hurt by one of those uppercuts or one of those looping left hooks or right hooks. You know what I'm saying? So damn good performance, man. But I gotta give Liam Williams some props. But on to this though, because this is important. Let's address the people that are gonna come out and hate real quick on this fight and this performance by Demetrius Andrade. Again, this is how you beat Demetrius Andrade. This is how you beat, if you're to beat him. If I'm a fighter, okay, and I have a similar style to Liam Williams, I'm looking at Demetrius Andrade for a fight. That's how you beat somebody like that. Again, you're not gonna fucking outbox him. You're not gonna outthink him. Okay, you're not gonna outskill him. Okay. So the only way to win is to try to bring him into a fight. That's how you fight elite boxers. Okay. That's how you fight elite boxers. Thomas Reed says, it of a good fight. It was a good fight. Yes, it was. It was a damn good fight. Light Lit It Up says, Andrade had a couple of chances to take Williams out, but Williams was saved by the bell. Yes, he was. He was definitely saved by the bell more than a few times. He was hurt multiple times during that fight. He was hurt multiple times during that fight. You know what I'm saying? He really honestly and truly was. But he would hold on real tight. You would see them goddamn clinches and the veins popping out of his arms as he's holding on. He would hold on real tight. You know what I'm saying? He would push Andrade's head down when he was hurt real bad. You know, he was doing whatever it took to stay up in the game. But Liam Williams should have and could have been knocked out several goddamn times throughout the course of this fight. Like Lit It Up says, Andrade was looking for that lead right hook the whole fight. Thought that'd be the punch to take out Williams. Williams has a good chin, though. Yes, he did. Williams has a damn good chin, man. He has a damn good chin. Williams has a damn good chin, man. You know what I mean? He really does. The amount of bro, them uppercuts, the amount of uppercuts that he took. What the fuck, bro? Like, some of those uppercuts made me want to stop watching the fucking fight. How nasty them shits was. My guy T20 in the building says GGG, exclamation marks, 100 dog boo boo. I don't know. T20, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't know about that, T20, but guess what? And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Triple G versus Andrade would be fire. It would be a fire fight, because that is how you fight Andrade. Charlo would not be able to beat Andrade, okay? Because Charlo doesn't fight like that. Triple G would have the best chance to beat Andrade, because his style is the perfect contrast for somebody like an Andrade. Somebody who's cutting off the ring, somebody who's going to the body, who's throwing hooks to the body, who's trying to corner him, who's trying to bring the fight to Andrade. That's who gives him the most problems. Okay? But somebody like Charlo, somebody who's gonna sit on the outside, somebody who's gonna, and we're skipping ahead a little bit, but fuck it, we here. Somebody who's gonna sit on the outside, somebody who's gonna try to outthink Andrade. He's gonna have a very difficult time fighting Andrade. I'm telling you right now, Jamal Charlo is gonna have a very difficult time trying to fight Demetrius Andrade because he's not gonna be able to outbox him. Okay, and he's not going to be willing to walk through the kind of shots that Liam Williams was willing to walk through in order to try to get off. He's going to simply just get outboxed and maybe even stopped. I'm saying you heard it here, goddamn. You heard it here. T20 says the confidence of Liam had the late rounds. GGG will have that confident round one. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Light Lit It Up says you got more faith in GGG and his team than he has in himself. He doesn't want Andrade problems. Absolutely, he really doesn't, because and the same thing goes for Canelo. These are all gonna be very close fights if they happen. Okay, GGG, Canelo, Andrade. Nobody gets smoked. Canelo doesn't smoke Andrade. Andrade doesn't smoke Canelo. GGG doesn't smoke Andrade. Andrade doesn't smoke GGG. These are all pretty much 50-50 fights, because the contrast in styles makes it where if Andrade survives, if Andrade gets to 12 rounds versus GGG, he beats GGG. Okay? But if a knockout happens anytime before 12, 9 times out of 10, it's GGG. And GGG has a good chance of knocking out Andrade. Same thing with Canelo. These are 50-50 fights. But this is why these guys don't want to fight Andrade, because they understand that these are 50-50 fights. Okay, and if they jump in the ring with Andrade, they risk getting in there with a style that could give them the most trouble. Okay, which is a slick fighter who can box from the outside, who can control distance. This is what's going to make it very difficult for these guys to win certain fights. You know what I'm saying? Light Lit It Up says, T20 says, shaking my head, Charlo will jab Andrade to death. He's definitely going to come with the jab. But remember, Liam Williams was throwing a lot of jabs too. Liam Williams' jab was very active. Hold on, shit. I think I done muted myself. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? There we go. I think I lost sound for a second. Let me make sure I could. Hold on. I done fucked some shit up. Hold on 1 second. Okay, y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me. We still here. Check that sound. All right. But yes, Liam Williams was throwing a lot of jabs too. Liam Williams was up on them jabs. Liam Williams was up on those jabs, but it's going to take more than a jab to beat somebody like a Demetrius Andrade. It's going to take more than a solid jab, okay? And I don't believe Charlo has the skill set to go in there and try to play chess with Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, period. Light Lit It Up says, I'm sick of people saying Canelo ducked Maul. Charlo, when Canelo took a step aside money, plus Charlo is ducking Andrade. Those PBC dudes ain't looking for real smoke. Facts. Thank you, Light Lit It Up. I had to check that sound and make sure I could be heard. Yes, sir. But facts. The PBC dudes ain't looking for the smoke, man. They've been running for the smoke for the longest. You know what I'm saying? So they can build up fights and shit like that, bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes are in their 30s. How long you want to build fights? You want them to fight when they 40? You want them to fight on goddamn Triller like Mike Tyson and Roy Jones? You want it to be some shit like that? These dudes are already in their 30s. How much longer you want the fight to build? You know what I'm saying? And if you're just getting in the building, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, goddamn, because we talking that boxing shit. Yes, sir. We talking that boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? But I need to make a public service announcement to everybody out there in the highways and the byways, because I did a lot of motherfucking surfing. I did a lot of surfing on YouTube, and I found a lot of people I found a lot of people that was picking Liam Williams. I found a lot of people that was picking Liam Williams, and I'm gonna need each and every one of you dudes to come on here and apologize for your transgressions. Okay? I'm gonna need all you dudes that pick Liam Williams to come over here and apologize for your transgressions. Goddamn. Okay? Because you were picking Liam Williams literally either out of just straight hate or you had some money up and you were trying to make a quick dollar. Okay? But Andrade was pretty much superior or is superior in pretty much every category there was to be pretty much in every category. Okay, the only chance that Liam Williams had was to do that come up, was to put his head down and throw punches and hope that he lands something flush enough to get Andrade up out of there. And he hurt Andrade a few times. You know what I'm saying? He hurt my boy Boo Boo a few times. You know what I mean? He certainly did. You know, he certainly did. My guy, Asante is in the building, says, I was talking big shit. I knew Liam had no shot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Andrade led in every category. Speed, experience, skill set. Okay. Like what else? What more? That's pretty much how you look at fights. You know what I'm saying? Experience. I mean, every category that you can think of, Andrade led in that category. You know what I'm saying? So like, how did you expect for Liam Williams to actually win the fight? You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you, Asante. Talk that big boy shit, man. Because these dudes out here need to hear it. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about the fight, man. Let's break down the actual fight. Let's get into that. Because this was a damn good fight. This was a damn good fight. Okay. Round one, Demetrius Andrade came in and, you know, he was aggressive. You know, it looked like a typical Andrade fight, honestly. He came in aggressive. He came in hungry. He came in ready. You know what I'm saying? And immediately he came in and he knocked down Liam Williams off the rip. Okay. Liam Williams. And this is it's the thing with a lot of dudes who fight Andrade. I feel like they expect one thing and they get something completely different once that bell rings. You know what I'm saying? It's like they expect this, and then when that bell rings, they get something else. So they end up on the ground very early on. And they're forced into a position where they have to kind of make adjustments. But a lot of the fighters that he jumps into the ring with, they're not equipped to make adjustments. So they end up scrambling, you know what I'm saying, and doing little things here and there, you know what I mean, mostly holding and mostly running in order to survive that first round. And that's exactly what we saw from Liam Williams, you know what I'm saying, in that first round. Gavin Jones says, how would you compare Liam against Andrade's last few fighters? Well, the circumstances were the same as far as how the fight played out, as far as Andrade's last few. But I say Liam Williams is just the level of aggression that he brings to a fight is just on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Liam Williams is just super aggressive. And most of the guys that Andrade fights, they're nowhere near that aggressive. As a matter of fact, Andrade usually comes out super aggressive, okay? And then he ends up hurting his opponent, dropping him in the first round. And then afterwards, usually they end up running the rest of the fight. Usually they end up getting on their back foot and running the rest of the fight. Liam Williams was not running. Liam Williams got up and he continued to do what he did, which was come forward, which was be aggressive, which was be the fighter / brawler we know Liam Williams to be. Okay? That's what Liam Williams did that a lot of Andrade opponents in the past hadn't done. So credit to Liam Williams for staying consistent. And that was the only thing he could do. You know what I'm saying? And as far as to try to win the fight. But I feel like it was very apparent that Liam Williams was trying to win the fight, as opposed to some of Andrade's previous opponents, where after they got hurt in that first round, They were no longer thinking about trying to win. They were mostly just content with just surviving into the later parts of the round or surviving the rest of the fight without getting stopped. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much the biggest differences that I got from Liam Williams to Andrade's last few opponents. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I gotta say this again. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go back into the fight. I always be jumping all over the place and shit, man. So thank y'all for bearing with me. But I gotta say this again. Andrade deserves full credit, okay, for beating Liam Williams. Because again, he did not have to fight Liam Williams. Andrade did not have to fight Liam Williams. Okay, Liam Williams wasn't the mandatory. Okay, and I believe that Andrade knew in his mind, he knew that Liam Williams, out of all the options that he had available to him, he knew that Liam Williams was going to make for the most difficult fight. So you got to give Andrade full credit for that. You got to give him full credit for that. Not only that, but that's something that he consistently does. He doesn't go after the guy who he knows has no shot of beating him. He goes after the guy who would be the best competition for him. And because, and I'm going to say this shit again, because Jaime Munguia pussied out of a fucking fight with Andrade, because Jaime Munguia pussied out of a fight with Andrade in order to fight Selecki, somebody who Andrade already beat, when he had an opportunity to fight Demetrius Andrade. Andrade said, okay, Munguia pussied out. Let me fight the next best competition in the division. And that's exactly what he did. But back on point, back to the fight. Andrade dropped Williams in the first round. And then afterwards, Andrade, you could see after the first round, Williams start to kind of put shit together a little bit more, you know. After that first round, he started to be more aggressive. He started to become a little bit more, what's the right word I'm looking for? He started to be a little less patient, okay? Because in the first round, he came out a little patient in the first round. He came out a little less aggressive, knowingly. Or it looks like purposefully, he came out a little less aggressive and not really willing to engage as much, like kind of looking to kind of figure Andrade out, do little things here and there. But Andrade pressed the attack early on, so what that caused him to do is kind of make that adjustment sooner than he probably wanted to. And in the second round, he came out more aggressive. Okay, so at that point, Andrade was forced to make adjustments. Okay, from being aggressive, he had to kind of like mix it up a little bit. He had to kind of switch it up and was forced to fight off his back foot a little bit more than he originally wanted to in the first few rounds. Because Andrade early on usually likes to be very aggressive, and then he kind of defaults to fighting off his back foot and utilizing movement and that sort of thing. Okay, so he was forced to kind of make a little bit of an adjustment sooner than he wanted to. Both fighters were. Okay. And, you know, Andrade made that adjustment, but while he was making that adjustment, he was kind of like fitting little punches here and there. Okay, he was fitting punches in there until the fourth round came along, and Andrade caught him with this nasty uppercut, and I believe dropped him. I believe it was an uppercut that dropped him. I believe that's what it was in the fourth round. But Andrade caught him with a nice little uppercut and dropped him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that just was the story of the fight for the rest of the fight. Andrade, as the fight went on, Liam got more and more aggressive. And again, more credit to Liam Williams for continuing to get more aggressive as opposed to shying away from the fight, which is what a lot of Andrade's previous opponents did in the past. But Liam Williams continued to get more aggressive, okay, and continued to bring the fight to Andrade. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it was more the same thing. Andrade would fit in those uppercuts. My phone rang, goddamn. Andrade would fit in those uppercuts. He would do a little bit of movement. He would bring it around. You know what I mean? And he ended up just controlling the fight, utilizing that distance and utilizing some good counter punching ability and keeping Liam Williams off balance. One thing that I said from the very beginning is Liam Williams likes to throw punches in a straight line, and Andrade's not going to be there in that straight line for Liam Williams. He's going to give him angles, which he gave him angles constantly, okay, which enabled Liam Williams not to be able to get off the way he wanted to get off, okay? And he said it at the end of his fight. He said it. He said those exact words. I wasn't able to get off. I wasn't able to get off. Because Andrade's not going to be in that straight line for you to throw punches. Andrade is gonna pivot. He's gonna move. He's gonna give angles. Okay, he's gonna move and then he's gonna stop on the dime and he's gonna throw a bunch of punches, little flurries here and there. Okay, he's gonna mix up his attack. You're not gonna know what's coming from where and when. And as a result, if you're Liam Williams, you don't really know what to do. You don't know how to handle that situation. You don't know how to handle that situation if you're Liam Williams. So, you know, that's pretty much what went on for the entirety of the fight. Now, one thing that surprised me a little bit is Liam Williams was able to hurt Andrade towards the later parts of the fight. He was able to get a few punches in there. And there was one time in particular where he hurt Andrade. Andrade had to hold on for dear life. Okay, he had to hold on a good 15 to 20 seconds in order to stop from getting knocked down. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what he did. You know, but ultimately he endured. He made the right decisions in order to get to the 12th round. I think he tried to stop Liam Williams, but after hitting Liam Williams with so many flush shots, after hurting Liam Williams so many times, you know, I think around maybe round 10 or round 11, he had just made the decision that he was going to try to get to 12 and finish out the fight. But ultimately, one thing that kind of disappointed me a little bit with the fight is the referee let him hold a little bit too long. You know what I'm saying? Like when Williams was hurt, the referee allowed a little bit too much of that clinch to be going on. You know what I mean? And that's one thing you don't want to see, man. You don't want to see dudes holding on for dear life for that long. You know, there was more than a few occasions where Liam Williams was hurt and the referee could have broke it up and let them fight a little bit more. And maybe we would have got a stoppage, which would have been much more favorable. You know what I'm saying? My guy Light lit it up in the building, said he did hurt Andrade a couple of times. He was looking in trouble in, I think, the 9th, and he got hit with a right in the back of his head and almost totally lost his legs. Absolutely. It was a good fight. Yeah, man, Liam Williams brought the fight. Liam Williams hurt him a good time, man, and and really could have, made some shit happen. There was a few times in that fight I was a little nervous. You know what I mean? There was a few times in there I was a little nervous. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you share the video, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? But yes, sir, this was a really, really, really good fight, man. This was a really good fight. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm about to do right now, man, for those of us that's in the building, I'm about to drop this goddamn link. I'm going to continue to cook, but I'm going to drop the link. Anybody that want to come through can come through. It's free smoke. You know what I'm saying? If nobody want to come through, nobody can come through. Whatever the case is, man, it's free smoke around here. I'm about to drop this goddamn link. Let me see. Where we at? Hold on. Here we go. Shit. Here we go. Here we go. Fucking up. Hold on. Link. All right, about to drop this bitch right now. All right, link is officially dropped. Anybody that trying to come through can come through. Gavin Jones says, I was backing Liam. I knew Andrade was slippery and he was the best at what he does, but I didn't think Liam would be so ineffective. However, I do believe they both benefited from what I thought was a great Kind of got. I'm assuming you saying great fight, my guy. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. But yeah, man. Yeah. I knew that was gonna be the case, man. I knew that was gonna be the case. Liam Williams, he brings a lot of pressure, but there's still a few skills that he lacks. Like, for example, Liam Williams, he doesn't cut the ring off. You know what I mean? And I knew that was gonna be an issue. You know, if you're fighting somebody like Demetrius Andrade, if you're fighting somebody like Andrade, you have to be able to cut the ring off, man. And Liam Williams doesn't cut the ring off. He actually, in fact, follows his opponents instead of cutting the ring off. So if you're following Andrade around, of course, he's gonna lead you into punches. He's gonna lead right into combinations. He's gonna lead you right into problems. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna lead you right into some shit. You know, and if you're Liam Williams, you just can't allow that to happen. That's why a Triple G fight would be a much more interesting and engaging fight than this one. Triple G has a good shot of beating Andrade. He really does. But the opposite is possible as well. Andrade could beat up Triple G. You know what I'm saying? It's a really good contrast of styles. That's how you fight somebody like a Demetrius Andrade. But you're not gonna beat it. You're not gonna beat him trying to box him. Case in point, Jamal Charlo. You're not gonna beat him. And Jamal Charlo Canelo. You're not gonna beat him. Trying to outthink him. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to come forward. You're gonna have to cut the ring off. You're gonna have to throw looping shots. You're gonna have to go to the body, stop his movement. You're gonna have to do things like that. Otherwise, he's 6'1". He got the longest arms I ever seen in my goddamn life. Okay. He's going to control that distance. He's going to jab. You see how many jabs he was throwing at Williams while he was moving around? He would hit Liam Williams with some of those jabs as he was moving, keeping Liam Williams at bay. He's going to do that to you. Okay. He's gonna make you uncomfortable. He's gonna give you angles. He's gonna move off that line. He's gonna make it a very difficult night. My guy G Parker's in the building. Shout out to you, G Parker. What's going on with you, home slice? What they do? G Parker says, bro, I missed the fucking fight, but I'm in the building. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You missed a hell of a fight, man. But I mean, let me see. You in this chat here, G Parker? Okay, G, ain't nobody enter the building. You missed a hell of a fight, G Parker, but ultimately I think we can all say that this was a typical Andrade performance. You know what I'm saying? A typical Andrade performance. He dropped Liam in the first round, dropped him again in the fourth round, and pretty much for the most part cruised to an easy unanimous decision, you know what I'm saying, and retained his WBO belt. That's really the long and short of the situation. You know what I'm saying? That's really the long and short of it. You know, did Liam Williams put up a hell of a fight? You're damn right he did. You're damn right he did. Okay? You're damn right he did. But Andrade did his thing by completely and utterly, okay, outboxing Liam Williams, okay? Making Liam Williams very uncomfortable, okay? Giving Liam Williams the angles. Okay, making Liam Williams cut his punch. I don't think Liam Williams threw half the amount of punches that he normally throws in a fight. I feel like Liam Williams' punch count was cut and at least half. If we were to do the research and we were to look at how many punches Liam Williams normally throws throughout the course of a fight, and we compare it to this fight, I guarantee that more than likely it was cut by at least half. Okay. Because Andrade's not going to be there in that straight line. You're not going to be able to throw. You're not going to be able to throw that many punches at him like that. And then when you do throw punches, there's going to be a counter punch waiting on you. Okay, so that's going to make you think twice about throwing punches. You know what I'm saying? That's going to make you think twice about throwing punches. Okay, but let's talk about this, man. Now that the fight is over with, and let me say this too before we move on to the next part of it. Let me say this too. All you niggas out there, okay, who picked Liam Williams, and I'm not talking about the guys who, you know what I'm saying, who you just roll with Liam Williams and that's your guy. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about you niggas who just bet against Andrade either because you low-key hating or because maybe you just, maybe you was trying to make a quick dollar and you just trying to make some shit split. I'm talking to you niggas. I expect all you niggas, all right, to report to my page, okay, stat, with an apology. I expect you niggas to report to my page, okay, stat, with an apology. All right? All you niggas that picked Liam Williams, I expect my apology, goddamn. All right? I expect it. All right? Kiss the goddamn ring. All right, you ain't got to go that far. But I expect an apology, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact, okay? I know for a fact that if Andrade would have lost, I know a lot of you niggas would have pulled up here on some bullshit, talking shit about how you knew Liam Williams was going to win the fight. I know you niggas would have did that. All right, so let me say this shit again. All you niggas that picked Liam Williams, that bet against Andrade, saying Liam Williams was going to win the fight, I expect my apology. I expect my apology prompt and systematically, goddamn. My guy Asante is in the building, says, that's all the PBC guys. Fuck all that hate on Andrade. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we got to address these niggas, though, Asante. We got to address these niggas, though. You know, because these niggas feel like they know boxing. They feel like, you know what I mean, like they're boxing connoisseurs. You know, when you try to tell them something, they act all snooty and sedity like they know every goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? They try to act all snooty and sedity like they know every goddamn thing. And real boxing heads know that we don't really, at the end of the day, we have our people who we favor in certain fights. But at the end of the day, we know it could go the other way. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following boxing long enough, you know that just because somebody has more skill, more talent, you know what I'm saying? We know that that don't really mean shit once the fight is actually going down. We know it only take one punch to knock somebody the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Real dudes that follow the sport, real dudes that watch boxing, we know what the fuck going on. You know what I'm saying? We know what the fuck going on. But these new niggas out here making videos, these new niggas out here talking boxing and saying shit out the side of their face, they don't really know. They got a level of arrogance and a level of just fucking arrogance about their fucking speech that you can't tell them shit, that they feel like they know it all. You know what I'm saying? And that's who we talking to, those niggas. And I expect you niggas to apologize to me, goddamn. I expect it. You know what I'm saying? I expect it. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where the Andrade haters at now? Where the Andrade haters at right now? Goddamn. Yes, sir. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and switch gears, though. We're gonna switch gears, though. We're gonna talk about what's next now. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about what's next for Andrade. Because Demetrius Andrade, after beating Liam Williams, and another thing, hold on, I gotta backtrack a little bit. All you niggas that say Andrade ain't fighting nobody, all you niggas that say that, I no longer want to hear that now, niggas. I no longer want to hear that Andrade ain't fought nobody, because you niggas that was picking Andrade to lose, I don't want to hear Andrade ain't fought nobody. I simply will not allow it from you niggas, and best believe I'm keeping track. Best believe I'm keeping track. I don't want to hear Andrade ain't fought nobody, because you wouldn't pick somebody to beat Andrade if he was nobody. Let me say that shit again. You wouldn't pick Andrade to beat, you wouldn't pick nobody to beat Andrade if he was nobody. So no longer will I accept that Andrade ain't fought nobody. Okay, point blank, period. Now on to the next. Let's talk about what's next. Let's talk about what's next. Okay. There's some fights out there that we all know need to happen at middleweight. Okay. There's fights out there that we all know need to happen at middleweight. Okay. Triple G, Jamal Charlo need to happen. Okay. Okay. Canelo needs to happen. Okay. We're not so much worried about Canelo right now, per se. Canelo don't want to 168, whatever, fine. Go to 168, do your thing. Triple G, your ass is still at 160. Jamal Charlo, your ass is still at 160. And both of you weirdo niggas got belts. I'm even going to add one. Jaime Munguia, you're still at 160 pounds. Where the fuck you at? Where you at? After you beat Selecki, a dude that Andrade already beat, what the fuck you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I need to know what you gonna do after this Selecki fight. My guy Asante says, I think Andrade should go after Chris Eubanks. I like that too. But I think Chris Eubanks is at 168, if I'm not mistaken. I think Chris Eubanks is at 168, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think Andrade should move up to 168 unless he's guaranteed a shot at the belt, at one of those belts. Okay. And I mean right away. I mean like either the next fight or the fight after the next. Unless Andrade can have something in stone or something in writing that says that he's going to get a crack at one of these champions, which, I mean, it's probably going to be Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders are the guys at 168. So, you know, and they're both supposedly contractually obligated to fight Canelo. Okay. Those are the guys that are obligated, that Canelo has on his hit list. Okay. So unless he can get a fight with one of those guys next, okay, which I highly doubt, because I doubt that them dudes are going to turn down a Canelo fight for an Andrade fight. I mean, let's just be real. Unless he can do that, okay, then I don't think he should go up to 168. Now, one thing that I'll say, though, and I have heard this kind of circulating online, and I think that this will be dope, and that is Andrade versus David Benavidez. I've been hearing about that in the works. I've been hearing Andrade versus David Benavidez, and I think that that would be a good move. If Andrade, after this fight, fought David Benavidez, which would be very ambitious, because to move up to 168 and then have your first fight be David Benavidez, which is, to me, David Benavidez is the best guy at super middle. You know what I'm saying? I think that may be a little bit too ambitious. But if he can go up to 168, take a fight, and then fight Benavidez, at that point, he'll be in the position in order to go after whoever has that belt at the time. I don't think Canelo, after he goes through Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Plant, I don't think Canelo is going to hold on to those belts. I don't think he's going to do it. I think after Canelo becomes undisputed at 168, I feel like he's going to drop those belts. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's going to drop them. So if he drops those belts after he becomes undisputed, then the next person in line will be David Benavidez. So if Andrade could go up to 168, he could take a warm-up fight, okay, just to get acclimated to the weight. And then he could go in there and possibly even, this will be probably next year, because I say by the end of this year, according to Canelo's schedule, he should be undisputed by the end of this year. So by next year, okay, maybe we can see a matchup between Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez for one of those belts, preferably probably the WBC belt, because I believe that's the belt that that David Benavidez is in line for. Okay, let's read some of these comments real quick. Let's read some of the. G Parker says, not on the chat yet, bro, but I'm taking not on the chat yet, bro, but I'm taking care of moms. Okay. Shout out to moms. Fellas in the chat, if you haven't yet, go hit that like button for my boy. Appreciate that love, goddamn. Appreciate that, G Parker. My guy Asante says, I agree. Gavin Jones says Chris Eubanks said he'd fight Liam if he won. Now he lost. I think he dodged Andrade too difficult for him. Man, Chris Eubanks really said that shit, dog. Like, really? Chris Eubanks really said that shit. Man, I had more faith in Chris Eubanks. I know he was up at 168. You know what I'm saying? But if he said he would fight Liam if he won, but he's not willing to fight Andrade, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit, Gavin, if he really said that. I hope that he would have that same energy for Andrade now that he retained the belt that he does for Liam if he would have won. Because Chris Eubanks Jr. and Demetrius Andrade would be another banger. That would be another banger of a fight, man. That would be a banger because Chris Eubanks brings the same type of energy that a Liam Williams kind of brings to a fight. Okay. So I would love to see him up in there with a Demetrius Andrade. He's going to be throwing the body shots. He's going to be cutting the ring off. That would be just one banger of a fight. And Chris Eubanks is one big fucking dude, man. So I would think that Chris Eubanks Jr., given how winnable of a fight it is for him, because it is a winnable fight for Chris Eubanks Jr., I would think that he'd be interested in the Andrade fight, especially if he said he would fight Liam if he won. You know what I'm saying? It would be some bullshit if that wasn't the case. My guy, Red Kelly, is in the building. What's going on, Red Kelly? If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the video, my guy. But let's see what you're talking about here. You said, bruh, I greatly appreciate you speaking facts on these Andrade haters and these are probably the same dudes hating and praying for Bud's downfall. Shaking my head. Yes, sir. Red Kelly says, North Carolina with you all the way. Yes, sir. Shout out to North Carolina and the motherfucking building. Yes, sir. Rep your city, my guy. That's how we do out here. But yes, sir, man, the Andrade haters they're running rampant. They don't like Andrade. You know, these dudes out here, a lot of these dudes, I feel like they mad at certain fighters because they didn't sign with Al Heyman. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's very much a trend. So a motherfucker don't sign with Al Heyman. Now all of a sudden you're rooting for his downfall. It's some real bullshit. But Andrade's the real deal. Andrade deserves full credit for beating Liam Williams, a tough, worthy competitor, number 3 at middleweight. Okay, because the number 1 guy, Jaime Munguia, pussied out of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Andrade deserves full credit for getting that win versus Liam Williams. You know what I'm saying? Full credit for it. You know what I'm saying? But back on point. What's next for Andrade? You know what I'm saying? What's next for him? That Chris Eubanks would be nice. We all know Triple G. We all know Jamal Charlo. You know what I'm saying? You know, these are the fights that need to happen. Now, if I'm Jamal Charlo and I watch this Andrade fight, would I be more willing to step in the ring with him than what I was before? That was a question that they asked on the DAZN broadcast. Would I be more willing to jump in the ring with Andrade now after watching that Liam Williams fight? And the answer, if I'm Charlo, is hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Okay? Because Liam Williams was only able to have that amount of success the only reason he was able to have that kind of success was because of his style, was because of his willingness to take punishment, was because of his willingness to get his hands dirty, to put his head down low, okay, to get popped with several goddamn uppercuts over and over and over again, okay? That was the only reason Liam Williams was able to have the success that he had versus Demetrius Andrade. But if Jamal Charlo was to get in there and try to do the damn same thing, first of all, that style wouldn't work for him, okay? He'd probably get stopped well before anything like that would have ever happened because he's not used to fighting that way. And then the way that he does fight, okay, which is more of a boxer puncher kind of style where he's more so on his back foot, more so being more conservative with his punches, okay, and loading up a lot, you know, that would be rough for him because you're not going to be able to outbox Andrade. So it would be a very difficult fight for him. You know what I'm saying? My guy Red Kelly says GGG or Charlo as I see it. Yeah, GGG or Charlo, as I see it. So true, it's past sad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. GGG or Charlo. Yeah. Um, you know, I feel like the best fight at middleweight, the best fight at middleweight, okay? And y'all can quote me. Y'all can quote me on this one. Y'all can quote me. The best fight at middleweight is Andrade versus Charlo. I mean, Andrade versus Triple G. That's the best fight at middleweight. That's the best fight at middleweight because of that contrast in styles. You know what I'm saying? Andre fighting off his back foot, Triple G cutting off the ring. You know what I'm saying? That's the best fight at middleweight. You know, but I mean, it's crazy because it's like, yo, how much more time has to pass? You know what I'm saying, for these fights to get done? Triple G, what are you waiting on? You gonna fight Murata? You gonna fight Murata in Japan? Then what are you gonna do? And then they were saying on the broadcast that they working on a fight for December. We in April right now. So you gonna go another goddamn 8 months without fighting just so you can get Murata in Japan? You gonna forego another champion and Andrade? You could fight Andrade in July or August or some shit like that. Okay, and then still fight Murata in December. You know what I'm saying? This would be great for Triple G, but he's not, I don't get what's holding Triple G back. Somebody must have gotten to his ear and told him he had no shot against Andrade, but he has a shot. He has a good shot of beating Andrade. You know what I'm saying? Would I pick him to beat Andrade? No. But he has a good shot of beating Andrade in the fight. Which is why I don't get why he's running away from an Andrade fight. Why not go ahead and get that belt? And honestly, people talk about, and I was one of the dudes who said this. I was one of the dudes who said that I feel like Triple G is waiting on another Canelo shot. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, after Canelo gets this undisputed, I mean, is he really gonna? I mean, he might retire. Honestly, I don't know how many fights he got left on his DAZN deal, but he might fucking retire. And why not if you're Canelo? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why not if you're Canelo? Gavin Jones says, has Daniel Jacobs gone up to 168? I believe so, Gavin Jones. I believe so. I believe he is now at 168 now. You know what I'm saying? I believe he is. But Danny Jacobs just hasn't done anything, man. You know what I mean? He hasn't done anything, man. Maybe Danny Jacobs, I believe he's at 168, but he needs to start from scratch now. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those dudes that needs to start from scratch, and work his way in there, because he pretty much fell short at 160. And now he's trying to do his thing at 168, which I'm not mad at, but you shouldn't be in that conversation with the upper echelon of super middleweights. You shouldn't be in that conversation with some of the best dudes in the world who are looking to move up to 168. Like Andre's talking about moving up to 168. Charles talking about moving up to 168. I believe Chris Eubank Jr. is at 168. That'd be a good fight too. Danny Jacobs and Chris Eubank Jr. I'd like that too. That'd be a good little matchup. But back to what I was saying. I'll be bouncing around and shit. Back to what I was saying. Andrade versus David Benavidez may be the fight to make in the future. That may be the fight for next year for one of those belts. That may be the fight for next year to one of those belts. I don't think Andrade should move up without being guaranteed an opportunity for a belt. Okay. I think that David Benavidez is hungry enough to fight somebody like a Demetrius Andrade. So I feel like he would fight him. And I feel like Andrade will fight Benavidez. But there needs to be a belt on the line for that fight to happen, in my opinion, if I'm Andrade. I need to have some sharehold. I need to have some stake in that division. And the only way to have stake in that division is by owning one of them belts. So if Andrade can go up to 168, he can get one of those belts, you know what I'm saying? Preferably off David Benavidez in a really good fight that would sell really well, that would do great numbers. I feel like that will put him head and shoulders above the game. Then he will be a three-time champion in 3 different weight divisions. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at that point, also the division will kind of be freed up because Canelo more than likely would have dropped his belts. You know what I'm saying? So whoever's left in line, I feel like Andrade will probably be able to go after those dudes and kind of make an undisputed run at 168. You know what I mean? Should he choose to do something like that, that to me would be the best possible option for Andrade at this particular point in time. You know what I'm saying? But I would love for Triple G to get in the ring. I would love for Triple G to get in the ring. I love for Charlo to get in the ring. I love for these dudes to do it. But the history has shown that they're just not willing to do what it takes in order to be great in the sport. So how long we gonna wait on these niggas to do what the fuck they supposed to do? So if I'm Andrade, I'm already looking in the future. I'm looking at if these dudes are not willing to make it happen. I'm talking to David Benavidez behind the scenes. I'm making I'm thinking about who I can fight at 168. That would be a good like transition fight in between in order to get acclimated into the weight. And then I'm looking to make that fight with David Benavidez next year. You know what I'm saying? Asante says, since Charlo definitely not taking an Andre fight, Jacob should call Charlo out and see if he'll take that smoke since they had beef as well. I think Jacobs moved up to 168, but I mean I would watch a Jacobs and a Charlo fight. That would be a good little scrap. That'd be a good little scrap. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I would still feel slighted though. You know what I'm saying? Like I would still feel slighted in a type of way because it's like, okay, you giving me Jacobs and Charlo, which is a good scrap. You know what I mean? But these aren't the best though. You know what I'm saying? It's these aren't the best. My guy Red Kelly says, I agree with everything you said. It all makes sense. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. If it don't make sense, then I feel like making sense should be a prerequisite to every conversation that's being had. You know what I'm saying? It should be a prerequisite. The problem with that is it's not. Some dudes run off their mouth and none of that shit makes sense. And you be left there scratching your head like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? The fuck are you talking about? You know? But it is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But back on point. That's the move I feel like Andrade should make. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good move. Of course, if he can get Charlo or Triple G or one of them dudes in the ring, that would be great. But if not, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and secure a fight with David Benavidez. Maybe I could get a 2-fight deal or some shit, or maybe y'all could work it out where y'all set up to fight each other and next year, after you get a few fights at 168 or get a fight at 168 and get acclimated to the weight, that sort of thing, because David Benavidez wants that smoke with whoever is willing to give it to him. Andrade wants that smoke with whoever is willing to give it to him. So why not y'all two come together and make the fucking fight happen? You know what I'm saying? Why not? Let the pussies lie where they may. You know what I'm saying? Let the pussies lie where they may and make the fight with people who want to fight. David Benavidez want to fight. Demetrius Andrade want to fight. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I'm gonna drop this link to the chat, man. Again, anybody want to pop on here? Y'all want to give y'all thoughts? I'm gonna drop this link one more time. But if not, I'm probably gonna hop up off of here. You know what I'm saying? Go on, get me something to eat. Nigga hungry and shit. I'm gonna go and get me something to eat and call it a night, man. Let me see something. Oh, here. Yes, sir. It's getting dark and shit. God damn. Getting dark and shit over here. So let me ask y'all, man, anybody out there in the chat, man, let me ask y'all, out of all the dudes right now at middleweight, Who do y'all think gives Andrade the toughest fight? Who do y'all think? I know who I think. You know what I mean? I said who I think a little earlier. Who do y'all think gives Andrade the toughest fight at middleweight? That's a question to the people out there in the highways and the byways. Who y'all think give Andrade the toughest fight at 168? My guy Gavin Jones says, I hope Andrade gets the fights. He seems like a real nice guy. He's the coolest of dudes, man. He's the coolest of dudes. I don't get how anybody could not like Demetrius Andrade. The dude is funny. The dude is humble with it. You know what I mean? Um, you know, for the most part, he's a very happy-go-lucky dude, very low-key, very, you know what I mean, down to earth. He seems like the type of dude that anybody could just walk up on and just talk to and have a regular conversation with. So what's not to like about the dude? You know what I'm saying? What's not to like about a dude who carries himself like that? Who's respectful, who's down to earth? What's not to like about the dude? You know what I'm saying? My guy Red Kelly says, answer to my question, maybe Triple G. I think so too. I think so too, man. Red Kelly, you right in alignment with me, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Triple G. Triple G to me definitely gives Andrade the toughest fight. I think the Charlo fight, I think he beats Charlo. 12-round unanimous decision. He pretty much wins that fight pretty easily. Charlo could definitely catch him with something for sure. Charlo could catch him with something and hurt him. You know what I'm saying? But Charlo, but if Charlo doesn't catch him with something and hurt him, it's gonna be a long night for Charlo. Charlo gets outboxed. Same for Canelo. Canelo doesn't hurt Andrade with something. Canelo gets outboxed. You know what I'm saying? Canelo doesn't throw the volume. He doesn't come with the same level of intensity and pressure that a Liam Williams would come with to give Andrade the problems that Liam gave him. Canelo's very conservative with his punches. Again, Andrade isn't going to be in a straight line for Canelo to get his shots off. It's going to be a very difficult night for Canelo. Andrade boxes Canelo pretty easily. Same thing with Jaime Munguia. That's why Jaime Munguia don't want to fight. Andrade ain't going to be in that straight line for Jaime Munguia, and it's going to be very tough for him to get off. But at least with Jaime Munguia, he's more of a fighter. He's more of a brawler. He's going to bring somewhat of a pressure. That would be a good fight, Jaime Munguia versus Demetrius Andrade. But Jaime Munguia lacks the skills needed in order to beat somebody like Andrade. You got to have the pressure, but in addition to the pressure, you got to bring a skill set. You got to bring a skill set to be able to cut off the ring, to be able to counter some of the things that Andrade is able to do. The closest person that fits that criteria is Triple G. Triple G is the person who fits that criteria. My guy G Parker says, I like Andrade versus Benavidez. Yes, sir. That is a very good matchup. A very, very, very good matchup, man. David Benavidez likes to throw. That would be a man. Look, man, the amount of props. If Andrade jumped in the ring with David Benavidez, the amount of props, okay, that you got to give Andrade for stepping in the ring with David Benavidez, okay? I'm gonna need you niggas to come correct when you talk about my dog Andrade. I'm gonna need you niggas to have a certain amount of humility in your voice when you're talking about Andrade if he ever jumps in the ring with David Benavidez. Period. David Benavidez, that he would be going up in weight. Okay, he would be fighting the best person at 168, and David Benavidez is the best person at 168 just by the eye test. He's the best guy. He'll be fighting a very obnoxious style. Benavidez has one of the most annoying styles ever to fight. One of those dudes who throws punches in bunches. Okay, one of those dudes who's gonna outwork you, but then at the same time has power and has the boxing ability to be able to get shit done. You know what I'm saying? If Demetrius Andrade was to jump in the ring versus David Benavidez, I'm gonna need you niggas to put a lot more respect on his name. One, and then two, it's gonna make for a great fucking fight. A great fucking fight, man. It's gonna make for a great fucking fight. Andrade versus David Benavidez, man. Benavidez is gonna be coming forward, throwing a bunch of punches. Andrade is gonna be using his lateral movement, okay, trying to catch David Benavidez with little shots, slipping in, coming in and out, okay, controlling the range, doing little things here and there, and being slick. And it's just gonna make for a real exciting fight. Period. Period. Gavin Jones says, I may be wrong, but I'd worry about Andrade versus Canelo at 168. As with Canelo's power, it may be a con show. You know what, Gavin? You might not be wrong. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong with that, especially when a fighter moves up in weight. You never know how they're going to make that transition. You never know how that transition is going to go. You don't know if they're going to get stronger or if they're going to get weaker. You don't really know if they're going to be able to have take the power at that new weight class. Okay, you don't really know if they're going to have the same stamina at that new weight class. You don't know. These are things that people don't take into consideration when a fighter moves up in weight. There's so many variables of the game that needs to be understood when a fighter moves up in weight. First of all, the stamina. You got more body weight. It takes more energy to move around with more weight than it does with less weight. One. Two, the same can be said, okay, about your movement. Your movement. It takes more energy to throw punches because you're moving around more weight, okay? And then another thing, okay, as far as the amount of punches, you're fighting bigger guys who usually bigger guys hit harder, okay? Are you going to be able to take that punching power? And even if you can take the punching power, it's going to affect you differently because now you might have to think a little bit more about doing certain things than you had to think about doing when you were at another weight. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole new level of things to consider. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of things. You know, so moving up in weight is a big thing. But if Andrade was to move up, if he was to fight Canelo, I don't feel like Canelo's the hardest puncher at 168 or anything like that. But it would be a question of whether or not he'd be able to take the power of a true 168 pounder. And I think Canelo at this point is probably a true 168 pounder at this point. He's had a few fights there, so he's probably a true 168 pounder. So would he be able to take that punch of power? Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing. If Canelo can't knock him out, he's in for a long night. He's in for a damn long night. You know what I mean? A damn long night. My guy Davy John is in the building. Davy John, shout out to you, my guy. If you're new to the channel, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, my guy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, my guy. All right. Davy John says, GGG, I think the movement will frustrate Charlo. GGG, I think the movie will frustrate Charlo. He's answering my question. Yeah. Yes, it will. It will definitely frustrate Charlo. This is why Charlo is not keen on fighting Andrade. You know what I'm saying? This is why I don't think he's not keen on fighting Andrade. You know, and GGG is gonna bring the kind of stylistic matchup that's gonna give Andrade issues. Period. Slick fighters, their kryptonite are people who cut off the ring and people who brawl and fight on the inside. My guy, G Parker in the building says, Gavin Jones, I agree with you on Canelo versus Andrade, but I think it would be a hell of a fight up until Canelo tucked Andrade in for the night. Wow, that's how you feel, G Parker? Jamal Charlo gives Andrade the best fight at 168. That's how you feel, G Parker? Is that how you feel, G Parker? Wow. Okay. Let's see. You think Canelo would tuck in Andrade? Well, again, I'm gonna say that Canelo very much could stop Andrade. It could happen. I wouldn't be honest with myself and you guys if I said that it couldn't happen. Okay. That said, if he doesn't stop Andrade, If Andrade makes it 12 versus Canelo, and I make this argument all the time when I'm talking about different fighters. Another example would be Bud Crawford fighting Jermell Charlo at 154 pounds. Okay. You have one fighter that's clearly a much better boxer. Okay. And then you have another fighter who is a pretty good boxer, but clearly outmatched when it comes to boxing versus the other fighter. But you have the other fighter that has really good power. So Jermell Charlo at 154 has really good power, and he stops most of his opponents. Okay. But if he jumps in the ring versus somebody like a Bud Crawford, a superior boxer, okay, if Jermall or Canelo jumps in the ring versus a Demetrius Andrade, a superior boxer, okay, a person that's able to steal rounds, a person that's able to pot shot, a person that's able to stick and move, get in and out of the way of punches, and he makes it to 12, okay, and he makes it to 12, okay, how does that fight go? Who wins that fight on the scorecards? That's the question. That's what I want y'all to think about. Anybody who's picking Canelo or anybody who's picking Jermall Charlo or whatever to beat these super slick, skilled fighters. I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to think about that. And I said this earlier on in the live. I said this earlier on, okay? Andrade doesn't dust off Canelo, okay? Andrade doesn't dust off Triple G. Andrade doesn't dust off Jermall, okay? But the fights need to go, okay? If the fight turns into a boxing match, Demetrius Andrade wins, okay? If the fight turns into a brawl or firefight, okay, then Triple G and Canelo and guys like that win. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean. These are really close fights in which we have fighters that have to dictate, they have to dictate the style. They have to dictate the pace of the fight. And if they don't do that, then they lose. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Let me see if anybody is trying to hop up on here. If not, I'm going to wrap this motherfucker up. Okay, nobody's up on here. Nobody trying to come through. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, man. But once again, man, I want to give much love, much credit to my guy, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, for securing his 30th win, okay? His 30th win, 30-0, undefeated WBO champion. Did it again. It's him again, you know what I'm saying? I want to give him the utmost credit for picking Liam Williams, picking a tough fighter, the toughest fighter that he had as an option, jumping in the ring with him and getting the fight done. I want to give Liam Williams credit for jumping in the ring with Demetrius Andrade, for putting up a hell of a fight and putting on a hell of a show in order to try to get the fight, in order to try to win the fight, as opposed to laying down like a lot of dudes do. And you know, and all in all, it was a terrific fight, man. But I'm about to get up on out of here, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. All right. And also, too, before I holler at y'all, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Let the peoples out there in the highways and the byways know we talk that shit. Share the video, all that shit, man. But until next time, man, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.